Welcome to my haul frufflings from the Disc South Expo. I know it's a week after and I got two hats on, but that's because I got two hats at the expo and then a bunch of other discs, some from myself and then some from other companies that I'll be reviewing here pretty soon and I'm very excited about. But first off, I got the sweet J Millie hat, which I like. I thought I would really like these Richardson hats, but I think the structured fit looks a little silly on my head, just a little bit. But pretty good overall. I love these hats. They're nice. I think Armory Disc Golf sells them. And then this is from Cosmic Disc Golf, which I think is a retailer in New Jersey. And I just really like this logo. It's super clean. So I'll probably wear it. It's the type of hat that I didn't think I'd like very much. And then my mom bought me a Soft Light hat for my birthday, which I don't really know 100% why. But it's my mom, so of course I'm wearing the hat. And then I got this similar style, and I actually like the style. So that's what we'll wear for the rest of this. Shout out J Millie for this hat. Let's get on to the stuff that I had. And a lot of this will be on Infinite's site come later this month. Soon. Hopefully this week. Sometime very soon. First, it's not going to be on the site that soon, but this is going to be my Tour Series disc for this year. It is a Halo Glow S-Blend Sphinx. So it's a little stiffer than last year's run. It feels very good in the hand. A similar stability, if not a touch more overstable, maybe. I haven't gotten enough throws with it to fully be able to tell side by side. Obviously, when they come out, I'll be comparing them. Stamp is in production, so they should be out soonish. Hopefully within a month or so. Maybe sooner. These will be on the site. I got some of these. These are Halo S-Blend Emperors 169. I have some of them on my website right now. If you use code SUNLIGHT10, I believe, I'll put the right code on the screen, you get 10% off Infinite Discs today. So go shop my store if you want. I'll be putting this up before I leave and go film some videos. It's Sunday, same day that I'll be putting it up. But this is super fun. So yeah. I really liked the stamp. This is by Texas Swing, so there's really nothing left on the site. I did have some discs that I just bought off the site. Two wholesale, which I sold at some of the expo, but they'll be on my site later. But not just like straight up. I'll put them plus one of these used discs for probably like $30 or something if you want to do that for my site later. But give me like 3 or 4 days to do that. I'll probably announce when it happens. They'll probably go pretty fast, but thank you guys for all your support on that. More stuff coming to my site relatively soon. And then hopefully some goodies for when I'm on tour this year that are pretty exclusive to that. But this, sick, Halo S-Blend Emperor, slightly lightweight. I also have some Halo G-Blend Pharaohs because these are bombers. They're 160 and 169. There'll be some of these on the site. If you guys remember that video that I did with Erica Stinchcomb on the interview, these were her tour series last year. And since it's not 2024 anymore, I was able to stamp some of them up with the Texas Swing. Super bomber disc. Very domey. Pretty glidey, little understable. I also had some chicanes. I have one in my bag, a pink one, and then I have this black one. There's, I think, maybe 5 of these left, but it'll be Texas Swing Stamp chicanes. My favorite approach disc right now. Really love it. Got me a lot of birdies in my par save in my tournament that I played yesterday. Little flex, 1 round, bad boy. And then I'll talk maybe a little bit more about that in a second. Some S-Blend Roman's really good disc. Really good dome. Really love this run of Roman. I think the best run of Roman that's not Ronin stamped in the S-Blend. So this really one's super good. I also have these Glow. So lots of Romans going on the site. And then actually some other discs that I don't have here. I don't exactly remember what the other discs were that I don't have here. But maybe, some alpacas. Some Halo N-Blend alpacas. And then I also have some Splatter S-Blend Scepters. I haven't thrown these yet, but they feel like they'll be a little straighter than your typical Scepter. They look pretty sweet, but a little ground colored, so I sold 0 of these at the expo, which I'm not super surprised about. I kind of just wanted to test them out and see if anyone wanted them. So if you guys want them on the site, they'll be there very soon, but might have to keep checking. But everything that's on my site now will be on sale, but for today, 10% off. And I think there's some good prices on my Sphinxes right now, actually, because it's not last year anymore, which is pretty sweet. Now, onto the goodies that I got from the expo from other companies besides the hats. First is going to be this pretty cool towel. I'm going to make a full review here for Banana Froth just because they asked me to, and not that big of a deal, but this is a company called Dead Eye Disc Golf Towels. They're actually next to me for the whole expo. Dead Eye Solutions. So it's a towel that attaches on your bag, obviously, with the carabiner, and has an 8-pound magnet, so it's not actually easy to like pull it off, just in general. You have to actually put a little force into it to pull it off. Here, let's see. Yeah, exactly 8 pounds. I'm just playing with you. But yeah, they have this carabiner that I'll probably take this one off if I can, because I don't need their logo on mine, personally. I'll leave it on until the review, but then I'll take it off. And then it has kind of the center punch thing in the middle here, and apparently that washes out pretty decent. So like you can take it out to wash it, and then it has a different microfiber in the center than on the outside, and it kind of hangs down from the middle, so it's not going to hit the ground. So a pretty sweet towel design, so you can kind of take it, use it, reattach it via the magnet. Pretty sweet. So, Dead Eye Solutions, I think is what they're called. They're at the booth next to me, so shout out everyone who was at the expo who also went and snagged something from them. We're going to get into all the goodies. I'm actually about to leave to review with some of these. Oh, shoot, I forgot to bring one down. I'll be right back. First things, Thought Space. You guys might have seen this video already on the main channel. If you haven't, go check it out. I reviewed this against the Trail, because I've heard that the Trail is pretty inconsistent from what I've heard from a lot of people in the comments there. But the Expanse, I think, it's the most similar disc to a Trail I've ever felt. The Trail and it have the same diameter, even though this is an 11-speed, the Trail is a 10-speed. And it has a very similar glide profile. I actually had it in my bag for the tournament I played yesterday. I didn't end up throwing it a single time. I was kind of just leaning on my Emperors, but I didn't really have a great understable distance driver, and so this kind of fit the bill. I like that it's a touch slower. It's a little more controllable than something super fast and super flippy. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's going to make the bag. My distance drivers I'm just not super confident with. Luckily, there weren't too many distance shots. It was a little C-tier flex start, and I was able to take it down, luckily. I shot 11 down, 10-13 rated, I think it was. Totally grip blocked the last hole, unfortunately, with the forehand. Should have got to 12. And I had a spit through on hole 16, like right side of the Mach 3, just spit straight through all layers of chains. So that was a little disappointing. That was from like 35 feet. So maybe a little pace, maybe a little right, whatever. Still shot a pretty solid round, and I had this in the bag. That being said, the Nuance, Persona, it reminds me of a Nuance, because Nuance is another flippy 7-speed that they have. This thing feels crazy, and it was crazy flippy. If you saw that video, the last shot that I threw this into that headwind, yes, it was a headwind, but I threw it like this, and it finished like this, 390 feet down the fairway. So that's crazy. I think a lot of people will like it, but it's very thin feeling, so I think I'll review it against my Centurion when it comes out. But this is coming out in April. This is out now on Infinite if you want to snag it. Next are some Hooligan discs. If you guys saw my Rollo versus Flip versus Paradox video, I liked the Flip a lot from Hooligan discs. I liked it when they made it by Lone Star, and I like it a lot now when it's being manufactured by Gateway. And shout out to Garrett, owner of Hooligan. He hooked it up with a couple of flips from the Expo. Pretty understable mid-range, 5-speed, very flippy, but doesn't have a lot of bite at the end like the Rollo does. If you keep it in the air long enough, this one will just kind of keep holding. It will never try to fight out because it doesn't have like that little bead or sharpness. In my opinion, this feels and flies like a super beat-in Origin, so pretty fun. I have these Metal Flake ones. They're pretty sick discs. I just took them because I had to give away that flip because I lost whatever I was trying to do. Next, mint discs. I played a little glow thing, which is super fun, and I had the bullet. I won it from a long putt, I think. I made like a 50-foot putt, and it was a long putt hole, or every hole was a long putt hole. So I have a bullet. It's a glow bullet, and I'm excited to see how these glow. And I talked to the guys over at Mint, and a couple discs that I've never thrown from Mint that I'm excited to. We're going to do a 3-disc challenge, maybe today, maybe soon. I'm not 100% sure. But this is a Freetail. I'm 99% sure. Yep, says Freetail on it. That's nice. Oh, I like that now in the embossment on the bottom, they're actually putting the actual name of the disc. Hopefully you're able to see that a little bit. But they used to just put like an abbreviation in the run. They still do that. So it's still NT, Nocturnal, is their glow plastic. Freetail 0325, so run in March 2025, which is sweet. Wow, that's great. Or maybe it's the third run of Nocturnal Freetail, or Freetail in general, and they ran it in 2025. I'm not 100% sure on the naming system. Maybe someone from Mint or someone who knows their stuff can let me know. But this is supposedly a pretty flippy 11-speed, very understable. The Expanse is kind of like a glidey straight understable. This just feels like it's going to almost be a roller disc, maybe 10 or 11 speed, but feels pretty sweet. I'll be doing a lot of air shots with it. And then a disc that I actually felt way better than I anticipated when I picked it up was this Bobcat. It's a disc that, even though they lease molds from MVP, I haven't felt any other MVP leased mold companies make yet. It's not Pathfinder-esque. They have the Taco, which seemed to me to be kind of a Pathfinder with a bead, so slightly overstable, kind of MD4-ish. But this just seems to be almost like an MD5 rim. It doesn't quite feel as mean, though. Let me pull an MD5 to see. So the MD5 is... yeah, it looks like the bevel, ever so slightly, it looks just a touch more overstable than MD5 does than this Bobcat, but not an insane amount. So I'm excited to throw this because it actually feels very good forehand and backhand. If not a touch shallow on the backhand, just this way with the rim. So I'm excited to throw this. We'll do these 3 discs, and I'll probably shoot that video maybe today. Yeah, maybe it'll come out very soon. But it's very exciting. I mean, their glow is great. It's MVP's Eclipse 2.0 plastic, so should glow great. But really fun, a little haul, and shout out to Mint for letting me take these 2, and then I won this one fair and square, even though they would have given me more discs. But shout out to Mint, guys. They're sweet. Next up, we have, just from Meridian discs, the Rip Current. You guys saw my video with Meridian a while back. hopefully. And they have the disc, the Current. This is the Rip Current, which is supposed to be a more understable version. The Current was 7.5 -1.1. This I think is 7.5 -2.1, and it's the same mold. They just have the manufacturing parameters different. I think what they said is they actually just kind of flipped up how it cooled, and it made it a completely different disc, and with different flight characteristics consistently. So this is the Rip Current. Big shout out to Colton Lawless. He is the guy whose stamp is on here. Sweet, I think junior from the area that we were at. The Sweet to get to know a little bit, toss around some discs at the glow around, and I have one of his Rip Currents now. So I'll have to mess around with this because it does feel very good. And if it flies like how I wanted the Current to fly, might have a spot for my bag. I don't really have 7 or 8 speeds, but there are some holes around here that I've noticed it'd be good to have a 7 speed or an 8 speed here. I got to try the rally from finish line a little more. But speaking of 7 and 8 speeds and also of meeting people, big shout out. I did not get this person's name, so if this is you, big thank you. But they hooked it up with a Prison Proton Insanity, their favorite disc, and a Drift that they dyed. So massive appreciation. I'm grateful because I don't have a Drift or an Insanity right now, and so these will likely get used in some reviews with discs that are like comparable. This is a pretty flat Insanity, so it's kind of interesting. Feels like pretty overstable for an Insanity, like almost more Tesla-esque if you look at that rim. But Drift, really nice flippy 7-speed from Streamline. So massive shout out to whoever gave this to me. I'm sorry I didn't get or forgot your name, but that was very, very kind. I really appreciate it. Next is a disc that I kind of took from Infinite, just because it felt like a really good run of these, and this is the Drew Gibson Scepter. There's some of these still on Infinite, I believe. I haven't seen one of these. I think this is the old Innova Color Glow, and it feels pretty money. It doesn't feel ridiculously overstable, but it's nice and flat. And right now I bag a C-Blend Scepter, which feels very similar to this, but this just felt ever so slightly better. The C-Blend one I've been throwing pretty good, but this might make a rotation in my bag, just because I also really like the stamp, and it's a Drew Gibson disc, so that's pretty fun. Next, a disc that I'll be filming with very soon, with somebody who you may be able to assume I would film with this, but this is the Prototype Boost from MVP. This is their attempt at a PD, it seems. It's a overstable-ish 10-speed. I think they call it 10.5 -1.3 is what I saw, but it looks meaner than that. This is the max weight boost, I believe. It's got a pretty decent rim on the edge there. The wing is pretty aggressive. Nothing insane. And then this is the slightly lightweight ones. I took one of the lighter ones because I know that sometimes the weight can affect it. So I have a 167 and a 174 boost. And the 167 actually has a touch more dome. This one's pretty flat, and this one's got a little bit of dome. It does feel like a little bit bigger 10-speed, actually. It's kind of Trail-esque, where the Trail, I think, is closer to an 11-speed. And this one also, yeah, this one might be bigger than the Trail, actually. I luckily have my calipers on there. Okay, so from one part of the rim, I'm getting a 20.5 millimeter. And from, like, if I was just to do it on the far end here, I'm getting very similar readings to the Trail, which was, let me get it, yeah, 21.2. So, seems to be a big 11 speed. I know the PD itself, which is, you can also get in the Roman, which is the disc I already showed you. This is the one that I bag right now. This is definitely more close to like 9-speed-ish edge, and much more, it feels more like a 10-speed to me. Like this is 20 like in the same way that I'm measuring the other one, this is 20.3, 20.1, instead of 21 point something. So 19.2 if you measure it that way. So I think these also fall into that MVP 10-speed, which is actually more of an 11-speed. So it's a little more overstable. Very similar to the Thrill maybe, but the Thrill might be slightly bigger. I don't know, it makes me curious about this error that I have here, if this is more of a 10-speed rim or 11-speed. Yeah, this is 19.9, so this is definitely more of a 10-speed. Yeah, I think MVP, they just don't have a 10-speed. And I don't know what it is, but they can't make a 10-speed. Because these 10-speeds are all 11 speeds by the measurements. Which is weird, because I thought that they were the company that measured stuff. But so far, the two 10-speeds that I've had from them are both 11 speeds, based on the measurements. So that's quite odd to me, to be completely honest with you. But it's a overstable feeling, and not similar shape to a PD actually, but maybe we'll have a similar flight. So I'm excited to get to throw that. Next, the PDGA just launched this at me and Colton when we were playing the mini course, so now I have a PDGA 161 Crave, which is nice to have that for reuse down the line. I also traded Eric McCabe for a disc, so I have one of his new retooled EMAC Truths, which feels like a faster, slightly beaded buzz style disc. A little overstable, feels actually very good. So I don't know how much I'll throw this, but it was just cool. Obviously, hopefully you saw the video with him on my channel, but that was a lot of fun to get to play and get to know him. So I have that Eric McCabe EMAC Truth. A disc that I'm really excited to review actually is going to be Chandler Kramer's Signature Series Ghoul, one of the weirdest approach discs ever. It's a new gateway disc that got approved. He says it flies like a zone. I'm not quite sure. I think it might be as overstable as a zone, but it has a beaded bottom and then a thumb track, but the thumb track is actually just anti-dome. It never comes back up. Like the Banger GT, if you see that disc, it has a thumb track and it's like actually a track and then back to being a flat on top. This just has anti-dome. So it's interesting. I don't know what discs it is, like if there's a mix match of gateway discs or if this is a completely new thing. But the Chandler Kramer Gould does not have, or Gould, excuse me, Gould is Castaplaza. It doesn't have a flight number yet from what I see, so I'll try to give it one in my review. But I'll maybe take the Berg against it. Maybe it's like more of a Berg X. I think it's going to be very overstable and very slow. So I'm excited to give this thing a rip and check it out. Shout out Chandler for hooking this one up. So I'll actually put that one to the side, and I'll probably do the Mint video and that Gould video today. Gould. Ugh. Oh, but the other one that I really want to do is a new driver that Infinite came out with. I love this stamp. Big shout out to Kessler, the stamp guy Infinite, but he put this together, a triple foil for the Sultan, which is a driver that seems to me to be, I mean, it's beaded, very similar to the Innova Racer. It seems to me to be, if you remember when Innova had the Racer come out, they had Racer prototypes 1 and 2. This seems to be whichever one they didn't go with for their Racer, and so they offered it to Infinite. Now Infinite has the Sultan, which this disc with that little nose bead drops the parting line ever so slightly, and it feels like a 13 speed to be more than a 12 speed. So I'm glad I have these calipers out today, I guess. But yeah, this guy, 23.3. And if I take one of my Emperors, this is a newer one. Threw this thing 495 feet in a headwind yesterday. Not downhill. It was crazy. Maybe like ever so slightly downhill, but that was like one of my best shots I've ever thrown in the tournament. 23.1. Interesting. So it's actually pretty similar. Maybe, yeah, actually it is a 12-speed rim. That's kind of surprising. I think the nose bead, because it's not like flush against your hand, the nose pops it out so it feels bigger, even though it's not bigger. So that's an interesting realization. But I have this one, and I have this orange one, which is sweet, and this pink one. So we have these S-Blend Sultans. They also sent me some team stamped Metal Flake ones. These ones feel better to me, in my opinion. So I'm excited to get out and rip these and see kind of how they bomb, how they fly, because it's interesting. I don't have my drivers figured out all yet this year. So this should be between Emperors and Pharaohs. I think they call it like 12.5, -2.2, or maybe -1.2. And so I'm hoping that it is a pretty understable disc out the box. And maybe it gets a rotation in the bag. The feel isn't necessarily for me the best, but I'll give anything a shot. So thanks for watching my haul from Disc South. It was a lot of fun. I'm grateful that I met any one of you who I did meet. And I'm going to edit this video, get it up, and then go review these discs. Should be fun. That Ghoul is very intriguing to me. Peace.